Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and this is Bare Budgets 96, and today we will be budgeting my January week 5 income. Now if I was smart I would have remembered what my week 5 income was, but I don't, so hold please. That amount is $669, which I guess is what it was last week. Yes, $669. And I did, so I usually budget my plasma donation money as like, so I donated last week. Well, I go back and forth, I guess, depending on what days of the week I donated. I donated last week and I was only able to donate once last week. I was able to donate on Wednesday. Normally I would have donated on Friday. Unfortunately, Thursday, Friday is when I really started feeling like crap. And then I got the bad news at work. So I did not donate last Friday. I only donated last Wednesday. As a result, I did not have anywhere near as much money. There was only like, I don't know, $45 or something like that. So I didn't remove it last week. Now I did donate plasma again on Wednesday this week, and I'm planning, today's Thursday as I'm filming this, I'm planning on donating again tomorrow. But we're just gonna leave all of that money in here and that will be added to February week 1. So we're not working with any plasma donation money this week. I only have the $669 from my regular paycheck. So here's where things get a little different. All of my bills are fully funded. Let's see. So the goal for, I'm gonna write down all the goals first, I guess. So the goal for my monthly bills is $1360, which I have. Yearly subs, the goal for this one is $520, which I don't have, so we will be stuffing this one still. Student loans, the goal is $160, and I have that amount, so I'm not gonna add anything extra to it this week. New phone, the goal is $1,000. And I'm not at that goal yet, so I'm going to keep going. CD ladder, the goal, well, this month the goal was 200, and I have hit 200, so we're not going to stuff that. Now here's where the goal gets interesting, because I also have a $1,500 buffer goal, and I'm not there yet. What am I at? I am at, I believe, 1130. Let's count. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1000, 1130. So yes, I have 1130 and my goal is 1500. Now, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I don't know. I'm still going to get a couple more paychecks from my old job, but I don't know when I'm going to get paid from my new job. So I want to use this paycheck to fully fund my buffer, because I'm expecting basically to have to break into it. Now I'll repay it when I get paid that extra amount, or when, you know, as I figure out when I'm getting paid for everything. But I want to have it fully funded, just in case. So I need to put $370 into my buffer to make sure that that amount is fully funded. $370, and I wanted to start there this week, because that is my priority since my monthly bills are fully funded already. So monthly bills are going to get 0. And they're going to get 0 because we already have our $1360 that I need. Yearly bills is going to get its typical 15. I messed this up. Okay, 15. What does yearly bills currently have? It has 120, 30, 40, 50, 60, 75, 85, 95. What? 197? 197. That's what it says last week. That's what I just counted. Okay, so 197 plus 15. So that'll put me at 212. Okay. Student loans, like I said, it's not getting anything. The goal was 160. That is what it has. I know that's what it has because I counted it last week. Phone is going to get 5 still. So that one will have, oops, everything's falling out of my binder. Once I add the $5, it will have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 550, 570, 590, 5, 600, 5, 10, 15, 21. So 621 once I add that in. And CD Ladder is already at $200. We were able to fully fund that last week. So I'm not going to put anything in there. So we are only putting in $390 into my bills this week, which is less than we have been over the last couple weeks. I say only, that's still a lot, but 390. So 669 minus 390 leaves us $279 to work with still. So, let's come down here. Groceries is going to get its typical 50. I'm going to subtract 50. And gas is going to get its 20 minus 20. Okay, so we're left with 209 still. Spending, eating out's not going to get anything. Spending does, it's not fully funded anymore. I did spend. So we're going to put 10 into spending to fully fund that again. Bentley will get her typical 15. Let's put 10 in car instead of our usual 5. Holidays is going to get its typical 10. Medical, let's put in 20. And let's skip clothing and hair. So okay, let's add this up. So that's 50 plus 20 plus 10 plus 15 plus 40. So that's $135 going into my wallet and sinking funds. So 669 minus 390 minus 135 leaves us with $144. Okay, so Wicked, we're not going to allocate anything for Wicked / vacation savings this week. I do still have $100 writing in my envelope from previously when I messed up my schedule. So we will still stuff it, but it is not, we're not adding extra to it this week. So Harry Potter is also not going to get stuffed. However, or I'm sorry, we're not adding anything to that. However, I do still have money left over from a former PTO payout that I will be actually using to stuff this HP. We're just not adding anything to the budget this week. Let's do, so extra rent's gonna get 30. So minus 30, so that's 114. I need 30 for the hop, minus, 30. So that's $84 left after that. I want to put 10 into each car and Christmas, so there's minus 20. So that should leave me $64 for savings challenges. Now that's way more money than I thought it was going to be. Now why is that? Because we don't have anything from Plasma, but I'm not stuffing my monthly bills, but I'm stuffing my buffer with more than I usually would have stuffed my monthly bills. Yearly is getting its typical. Student loans, I guess it's not getting its 40. So we're already 10 under on my bills. And CD Ladder, so that's an extra $35. Okay, that's how that all worked out. Because I'm like, I stuffed more into my wallet and sinking funds than I usually do too. So, okay, that should all work out. So 64 plus 10 plus 10 plus 60 is 144. So let's just add this all up and make sure this equals. So 669 minus 390 minus 135 minus 144 is 0. So we have a 0-based budget here, which means I did in fact plan everything out correctly. Okay, yeah, this one's gonna look good. So January week 5 obviously looks pretty normal. February weeks 1 and 2 should look normal because I'm still anticipating my paycheck from my former job. It's going to be, did I just say January weeks 1 and 2? February weeks 1 and 2. February weeks 3 and 4 could look a little different, just because I don't know when I'm gonna get paid basically from my new job. I don't know how frequently, I don't know when. So there's some unknowns there. So I'm expecting to have to break into my buffer to make sure my bills are paid and my wallet and sinking funds are stuffed. If I have to do that, I have to do that. I'm fully planning on it doing. Now, I have my buffer here, and that is separate from my emergency fund. So I have this $1,500 buffer that will cover me for a whole month's worth of expenses. It will not allow for any extra savings, obviously, but it should still all be fine. I'm hoping that I can dip into my buffer maybe to stuff my bills and then immediately replenish it once I get paid for my new job. I don't know, like I said, I don't know exactly how this is going to work, but that's kind of my plan. I will be breaking into my buffer, possibly. I will not be breaking into my emergency fund because to me, this just doesn't qualify as an emergency. I planned to leave my job. I did, in fact, leave my job. And kind of the nature of getting a new job is that your pay schedule changes and you don't always get to know that up front. So, not an emergency, will not be breaking into my emergency fund. However, that is why my buffer is there. So, thank you for joining me. I know that was a long kind of monologue at the end of that. About buffer and emergency fund, but thank you for joining me. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and come back to see me stuff this. I hope that everyone has a great rest of their day, and I hope to catch you in my next one. Bye.